being pulled into something that they didn't realize, you know, that they didn't realize what the point was exactly, you know what I mean? There were definitely people who are part of very specific harassment groups. They might think they know everything on the face of the earth, and they don't. They might be part of like progressive living arts programs, and they take their art to the streets, but they're a little bit too abusive. The problem with taking art to the streets too much or in such a negative way is that those art people who are self-righteous and think they know everything are raping targeted individuals. It's like their duty to do this. So anyway, that's the dealio there. Do a morning walk here. Driving Miss Daisy and Hay Fever, Jersey Boys Elf. So Jersey Boys Elf, Driving Miss Daisy. I have a short on my YouTube channel about Driving Miss Daisy, and it said something like, F you, Driving Miss Daisy, horror. This is over by Spice Finch, and then Hay Fever and Dream Girl. So over on the Warwick and Spice Finch, right on Chancellor Street, they had graffiti of Miss Daisy, and it says, F you, Miss Daisy. So I wondered why Daisy kept coming up. I didn't realize it was a show here at the Walnut Street Theater. And does theater dictate, like, it's that old saying of, does art reflect life or life reflect art? So is art dictating life at this point? Or does art show what's going on in the world? So there's something up with Jersey Boys, Elf. And of course, Elf, we can think of, what's his name, the funny guy from Saturday Night Live. Driving Miss Daisy. Oh, who's driving Daisy? We won't get into it. I happen to know a couple people named Daisy, and people have wondered, like, who's piloting them to seem so in control? Because there are people who are actually handled very heavily, and they would know that if they don't have an English degree, but they can pump out a text message to sound very flowy and perfect, then they're scripted, and they know they're fed very quickly. I know President Biden did the opposite. He wanted to show that he doesn't get words flowed to him. And we have a couple people who showed that they got like a letter from Joseph Biden, and the note was unimpressive to people who don't know the difference. So to people who know better, it's like, aha, he's showing that he isn't fed words every millisecond. He doesn't want people to believe or think that he's, you know, controlled, puppeted, if you will. And maybe he wants people to feel normal. Like, you struggled writing a thank you note because you actually think for yourself, and you actually look up words, and you actually try to figure out the perfect words to say. There are people who don't need to look in a dictionary that much, and they just script it all out really quick, very quickly. It's too quick, and they know it's too quick. They know it is. I guess this must be shift change or similar at the hospitals. There's a lot of people coming in from the PACCO line or similar. All filing in to Jefferson University Hospital, smack dab in the middle of Center City, next to the neighborhood. Kind of encompasses the neighborhood a little bit. What a better place to have a hospital and lots of drugs, right? So, test everyone, and if you're at the university hospital, you would be tested. There are people watching, more invisibly than you can imagine, especially in a big city like this. So, but there's a little group that has an early start, like 7 a.m. Usually shifts like 7, 8, 9, and 10. Maybe the rare soul has to get up at, for a 6 o'clock shift. I used to walk a dog at 6 in the morning in Rittenhouse Square, but no one. It was dead quiet every morning in Rittenhouse Square, except for one other person who would walk and do laps around the square, and the occasional jogger or runner who would come out while training for an upcoming marathon. So if all this activity was going on down here, I wouldn't have known it. But I do know up by Rittenhouse Square, all the streets were empty when I would walk Cody at 6 in the morning. There used to be a Wendy's here where this fencing is. During the pandemic, a lot of fast food restaurants in deep Center City proper closed down. They were either set on fire during the George Floyd trial and the riots, or I don't know. But McDonald's is all but gone. You have to go a little bit farther out of the downtown Center City to find one. And people have to order McDonald's through Uber or whatever. So I wound up green juicing and becoming a raw vegan foodie and everything. And here's the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise. Unless he was self-righteous and thought that he was supposed to quote-unquote wake people up, but he wasn't even awake and they killed him off to let him know that he wasn't even awake, because I think he died at an age that was sort of on the younger side. Guess he has to come back, recycle his soul, and start all over again. So, or is Neil Diamond, you could say we made someone kneel and put an engagement, like if a woman feels like she manipulated a man, or vice versa. But I know some people who love Neil Diamond and chewed up and spit out my dad as a result of him being a little too easy to manipulate in a certain way. He grew up in a bad family, like a family that wasn't that cool. And he probably saw someone as fitting a role. We'll leave it at that. A lot of whores out there. Trust me on this one, never go out of your way to steal someone's husband. Your days are numbered at this point in time. They've been taken